All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to get set up here for a second. If you're watching right now, please let me know how the sound is and whether or not everything's clear. I had some technical difficulties last week, so that was pretty disappointing. So hopefully this week we were able to remedy that. I'm going to wait like an extra second, drink a little water, just to get prepared before this starts. Yeah, I'm good to go this time. Yeah, last time was a little. I don't even know what happened. I've streamed before, and for some reason, nothing was working. It stopped recording. It stopped showing anything. So hopefully today we don't have those issues. And I think we're gonna work between like 10 to 15 letters of the Arabic alphabet, and I'm gonna have like a segment for like 10 to 15 minutes afterwards. So I'm thinking this will last an hour. If it lasts longer, awesome. If you have questions, please ask. I'd love to answer them. I would like to preface everything with I am not, the best Arabic speaker in the world. I don't think anybody is. I know quite a few people from, Iraq, Syria, Egypt, that they all have their own understandings of the language, and it's going to change from location to location. There are multiple dialects that will change things. There's also subcultures and sub-languages within the Arab world that will change people's understanding of how the language works. So what I'm going to give you is what's called MSA. It's Modern Standard Arabic, or in Arabic they call it Fusha. So if anybody's like, what Arabic do you speak? You say Fusha. So you'd say Lahja al-Fusha. Excuse me. So like I said, we're going to start going through the alphabet. So that's the goal for today. Actually, wait, I had this ready. So we're going to start off. So with the Arabic language, every letter has 4 different versions. So it's got a standalone, it's got a beginning version, middle version, and end version. And I'm going to show you what that means in a second. Being able to identify which letters are which and how they function within a word, i.e. they connect to the left or they don't connect to the left. If you don't know already, Arabic goes right to left. So if they don't connect to the left, that's a cue a lot of times to know what letter is which. So let's go ahead and get started. The first letter we're going to be talking about today, and I have to switch my keyboard to Arabic, is going to be the Aleph. So the Aleph is a typical A in English. It doesn't have too much to it. It's just an A. It can be an U, E, A, but I'll explain that later. For the most part, Aleph is just considered A. And like I said, if there's any issues with how I sound or how things are looking, just let me know as I go so that I can stop and fix it. So the Aleph standalone is going to look like this. It's just a straight line down. In the beginning of a word, it's going to look exactly the same. The important thing to know about the Aleph is it does not connect to the left. So if you actually put like 2 Alephs next to each other, you're going to see they don't connect. But if I put A, B, it does not connect. But if I put a B, B, the B changes, but the Aleph remains the same. So in the beginning of a word, it looks like this. If I put like a B-A, I'm sorry, that's a B-L. If I put B-A, you can see that it connects to the B from the right, but then it goes straight up and it does not connect to the left. So something like Bab, B-A-B, you can see that it doesn't connect to the left, and that's how you identify an Aleph. And I'm going to explain why that's really important towards the end. At the end of a word, it's going to look just like this. So Aleph is pretty simple. It's only connecting to the right. It makes an A sound, so it's pretty easy to remember, and it's just a straight line up and down. I'm going to show you real quick how you can write an Aleph. So basically, it's just going to be top to bottom. Hang on one second. It's going to be top to bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. Top to bottom, just like that. I'm not the greatest artist on PowerPoint, so bear with me, but it's just a straight line. Nothing fancy about it. Doesn't have to hook, doesn't have to lean, anything like that. The next letter we're going to talk about. Oh, hello. So the next letter is going to be the L. So hang on one second. The L is going to look like this. So an L and an Aleph are easily confused, especially towards the beginning. But as I emphasized before, an Aleph does not connect to the left, whereas an L does. So this is called a lam. So you've got the Aleph, and then this is the lam. A lam is a typical L sound, just L. There's nothing special about it. There's no rolling it. There's no making it sound like an R. It's just a typical L, like in English. In the beginning, it looks like this. So you can see it doesn't hook down all the way. If you look at my cursor, it comes down, hooks over, and then if it's towards the end, it'll do the hook at the bottom. But if it's if you imagine the line being right, so imagine a line being right there. That's the line you are writing on. And as you can see, it only hooks at the end of a word, whereas if it's in the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word, as you'll see in a second, so you got L, L, L. So the L now, the only time it hooks is at the end or standalone. And as you can see, these land on the line. They go down, go back up, back down, over, and like I said, right to left. And then at the end, it's going to do that little hook. So that is how an L and an A look different. If you write L and then A like that, it does a funky... the first thing you would think if you're writing an L and then an A is you would do something like this, right? Because the A at the end is going to be... you'd think it would look like this. However, that's not the case. It actually either looks like this or it can look like... hang on one second. There's two different forms LA can make. It could also look like... Hang on. So see if it does it. Sometimes it'll do it. You can either do, as you can see here, you can either do this or you can do... Hang on one. So you can either do where it looks like that, and it's going to look like a C with a line coming through it. I need to figure out how to... here we go. Then you have this one coming into it. So this is one way of writing it, and then another way of writing it is going to be like... Let's see here. It's going to come down, over, and up. Bear with me, because like I said, not the best artist when it comes to writing Arabic on PowerPoint. So it's a little funky. It's going to come down, do a circle, and then circle back up, and that makes a la. So L-A, la, and la actually means no. So that's going to be the first word for you, is going to be la, means no. So L-A is going to be either like this, or it's going to be like this. Let's go ahead and take off my drawing because it's atrocious. Let's go ahead and take these off. So like I said before, that's the L and that's the A. It's Aleph and Lam. The next letter we're going to go over is going to be the B. So this is called a Ba. So Ba, just a typical B sound, nothing special about it. The way that I always remember it is that the dot is below. So as you can see underneath it, the dot is below. This is what it looks like standalone. This is what it's going to look like in the beginning. So as you can see over here, it's just a line down, over, line back up, over, and then you do like the boat. And then as long as you put the dots underneath, that's how you're going to know it's a ba. So that's what it would look like in the beginning. The middle is going to be, so in the middle, it's just a standalone line with a dot underneath it. It's pretty easy to recognize, the ba. I don't think there's any other letter. Nope, I was about to mess up there. There's one more letter that has a dot below it, but it's very easy to distinguish between this one and that one. So we've got which does nothing special. And then you've got lam, 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 lam. And then you've got ba, 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 ba. So as you can see, dot below, that's what makes it different. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next letter, which is going to be Ya. So Ya is a very strange letter. It's not crazy. We're gonna get crazier, but the way it looks and the way it's written is definitely different. So this is what it looks like standalone. It kind of looks like an S with 2 dots underneath it. And then if you want it in the beginning of a word, okay, don't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out so you can kind of see what's going on here. So just like the ba, where it's a line coming down, line coming back up, and then over, and doing it over and over again, there's just going to be 2 dots underneath, except for at the end where it's going to form this S shape. And what's going to happen, let me go ahead and get the draw tool here. What's going to happen, so you've got the line, and then you're going to do the S. And I apologize, you can't really see that. I wish I could make it standard just to be white so you could see it easily. So it's going to look like that, and then you're just going to put the dot. So you're going to put 2 dots here, and then you're going to put 2 dots here. But that's how it ends. So that's how the Y is at the end. And Ya, like I said, is just a typical Y. Nothing too crazy about it. It can make a Ya sound. It can make a E sound, depending on where it's placed in a word. But what's important, it's easy to remember as a Y. Might be a bit difficult to remember everything. Something to consider might be a chart or something on the screen to record the class material as we go. Hey, that's a great idea. I appreciate that. Let's do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the letters that we've done thus far. Let's do this. So equals A. And then you've got lamb, and then you're going to do this. So yeah, it's you're absolutely right. It is very difficult to remember all this stuff. So I mean, thank you for mentioning it, because there's things that, for myself, after doing this for so long, it comes so naturally that I'm like, hey, this is simple, this is an A, this is an L. But for people that aren't accustomed to the Arabic script, it is very daunting at first. And one thing I tell everybody about the Arabic language is that it looks daunting at first, but after a while, it gets so much easier. Identifying letters is actually a very easy process. And when I read now, as I'm going through Arabic script, I don't even have to think about the letter. I just immediately process what it is. Just like when you see a stop sign, you don't read it and go stop. You're just going to read stop. You don't even have to think about it. I see words now, and I don't even have to think about it. Here's the B. Let's go ahead and do. So that equals B. I'm trying to line this up a little bit. So if at any time you're like, hey, could you just do this? It's going to make it easier for me. I would prefer that, because, I learned all this a long time ago, and a lot of it I don't even have to really think about anymore. And so another thing is, so I'm writing that this is equal to B equal to Y. Please remember that it is not a perfect comparison. It's just the closest we're going to get. And that should help you kind of remember it for the time being. Once we apply these letters in words, it should get easier over time recognizing them and knowing how they function, and that'll come later. But for now, this is a good way of kind of isolating what they mimic. So we got the A, so the Aleph, Lam, Ba, and Ya. And actually what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to write this out. Lam, Ba, and Ya. Next, what we're going to do, so we're going to move on to the Sheen. Oh, hello. Which is funny because I just realized that's the S on the keyboard. I actually know how to type in Arabic, so when I do it, I don't even think about where I'm placing my fingers, and I guess it's equal to the S, which is funny because a Sheen is basically an S. So Sheen, like I just said, is basically equal to an S. This is the standalone version of the letter. It kind of looks like a W with a little bit of a hook towards the end, like the lamb. So See, and it's funny because I say it looks like a W, and I only say that because other people tell me it looks like a W. Hopefully at some point you get to a point where you're not even having to think about this, where you're not seeing a W and remembering, okay, the W is an S. You're going to actually remember, like I look at this and I immediately think S. I think seen. So at some point over, repetition, you'll be able to think like that as well. So I say it looks like a W, but try not to think like that. So this is what it's going to look like towards the beginning. These are the middle versions, and then this is the end. So So as you can see, the end has the hook, and then in the middle you just have what looks like, as I said before, a W that connects from the right and the left. So as you're writing it, it's going to look like this. Let's go ahead and go over that. So I'm going to write two scenes. So you're going to start over here, you go down, you do your little W, and then you're going to go over, do your next W, and then at the end of this W, you're going to hook below the line. Let's make that white. So you're going to hook below the line. That's so sloppy, I'm sorry. But the line would be right about here, and then this tail is going to hook underneath the line, as you can see here. So that is the scene. It makes a typical S. Before we move on, I do want to mention that there are two S's within the Arabic language, and I will explain kind of the differences. I don't know if it's going to be today. Why are you doing that? Oh, weird. Whoops. I hate going back and forth between Arabic and English. Yeah, that looks fine. So I'm going to write scene. That's how you'd pronounce it. Typically you see it as S-I-N, but for now I'm going to write it out like this because then you know it's pronounced scene. So now we have 5 letters. Let's go ahead and come up with a couple words using these letters. I got to make sure that... By the way, how are you seeing me? Is everything good? I asked just because, like I said last time, there was a bunch of little issues, and I don't want to continue if... Oh, that's funky. Why is it doing that? Can you see me? Oh, that's weird. Oh, I see why. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. That scared me. Alright, so it looks like it's working on my end, so I hope it's working on your end as well. Cool, awesome, I see that. We can see you. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a couple words real quick with these letters. So I'm actually going to take them off the screen real quick, and we're going to start just using them. So Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin. And on your keyboard, if you're wanting to write using Arabic letters, it's a little out of sync. That's interesting. Is it pretty bad? Is it like a second, or like, are we talking like 5 or 6 seconds? By the way, I'm using my phone to like read the comments because it's a little faster, I've noticed. So if I'm like looking down to the left, okay, it's not too bad. Because I don't know if I can fix that midstream. I am sorry it's doing that. Let me try something real quick. All right, I don't know if that... hang on. It's not bad. Yeah, but I do feel bad. Alright. Here, I don't know if that'll help. Okay, so let's go ahead and write some words out using those letters. And like I said before, if you're using a keyboard, basically what we've done is we've gone from right to left, H, G, F, D, S. So if you're writing in Arabic, that's in a row. That's what I've taught you. So H being the Aleph, G being the L, F being the Ba, D being the Ya, and then Sheen being the S. I might have just totally said that really weird, so bear with me. So Al, actually, so let's do La. So that means no. So let's write that out real quick. Equal to no. So that's a good word to know. I guess that's a good word to know in any language, being able to say no and yes, which we'll teach you yes later. The next letter we can do is, or the next verb we can actually do is going to be, and that is in English, we're going to do, it's called labasa. So labasa is a verb that means to wear. All right, so labasa. And notice that I'm saying labasa. We're not going to go into verbs today, obviously, because we're just starting out with the alphabet. But labasa, just remember it like that. So if you have no vowels between the consonants, for the time being with verbs, we're going to stick with just using an sound. So labasa. Next, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and see if that works. What's another word we can use? I'm sorry. So, okay, so another one we can do is going to be bisabab. So bisabab equals or means because. So bisabab means because. Bisabab. Bisabab. And then up here, let's go again. La is just L-A. Lam Aleph, which can be written like that. No. Labasa, to wear, which is a verb. Labasa. And then down here we have bisabab. And then, actually, there we go. That's something I can do. So bisabab means because. And then the next word we can do is going to be, ooh, it's always funny when I see that and I realize what I'm writing in English. So we can write ab, which is in English means father. So when you say abi, so let's write that out. So it's going to be abi. So the script is a little funky. So here, actually, I wonder if I can fix that real quick because it does look super strange in this script. Okay, actually that would be better. So Abi, as you can see, it's the Aleph, the Ba, and the Ya. Actually, I'm going to apply that to all of these. What is that? That is Courier New. There are different ways to write Arabic script, but I'm doing something now that you can look at, and it's not going to be difficult to identify when you're first getting used to the letters. So no, la, to wear, labasa, and that's a verb. And then let's do this. Hope I'm not I gotta make sure I'm not hitting my camera, so I gotta check. So and then we have basabab, because, ab, which is equal to father. This is 54. All right, should be equal to my father. So ab means father, abi means my father. So when you add a ya at the end of something, it can be an adjective or it can be my. So it's a possessive pronoun. If I say, for example, beiti, which means my house, so beit means house, and then beiti, my house. Ab, father, abi, my father. So let's go through these again, and then we'll move on to the next 5 letters. And I know this is coming pretty quick. I am putting this on YouTube, so if you feel like this is going a little too fast, you can come back through and just watch it in case you want to go over these letters. So I know it can be daunting at first, but we're going to make it work. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to move on to the next letters. Get rid of that. So the next letter we're going to go over is going to be a Sheen, which is the letter A in English. So a Sheen is going to be just like the S in the way that it is written. However, the way it is sounded out is a sh. So in English, we have an SH to make that sound, but for them, they have a scene, which is the W, and then they have 3 dots above. So that is a Sheen. Sheen. And a Sheen looks like this at the end. Just like with the scene, you're going to have the hook towards the end, but you see those 3 dots in the W, and instantly you need to think sh, Sheen. So let's go ahead and write Sheen. Cool. All right, I'm going to take this off real quick because it's taking up a little bit of space. All right, so we have the Sheen. Okay, so the next letter we're going to go over, and honestly, I'm not going to go over too much of the Sheen because, like I said, it's just like the S, the scene. Same look, same way it's written. It's just got 3 dots above and makes a sh sound. So the next letter we're going to go over is going to be, and I'm going to do some sister letters is what they're called, but we're going to do that is in English. Let's do this. So hang on. Nope. Okay, yeah, I guess we're doing this. All right, so the next letter is a jim. So a jim makes a J sound, just like in English. It does at times make a little bit of a zh sound. So if you think about French or Persian, they have a letter that makes a zh. So it's not a j, it's a zh. I hope that's coming over the microphone good enough so that you can hear a little bit of the difference. So that is the jim. So a jim connected at the beginning, middle, and end. And this is going to be a little bit of a daunting one. So don't do that. So a jim, I wish it would let you choose like that. So it's going to be over like this. And then if it's at the end, hang on. That's the problem with this too. So if it's at the end, it's going to, oh, my baby's trying to get through the door. So it's going to hook down, hook up like this. Let's go ahead and hang on a second. I got to get my baby. I'll be right back. You want to help me? You want to help me? All right. So, hey, look. This is the Sheen. Or, I'm sorry, this is the Jim. So, a Jim makes a J sound. And in the beginning of a word, you're going to do this arch. This is where the line should be. It should be like right above the line. So, you're going to go down like this, over. And then if it's at the end of a word, it's going to hook down like this up at the bottom. These letters are pretty iconic, and actually I'm gonna keep hang on, baby. So I'm gonna take both of these and I'm gonna put them over here. I know you can't really see behind my fat head, but so this is gonna be the jim. If you put a dot right here and a dot right here, as you can see right here, and this is equal to, wow, sorry honey, and then it makes a jim. So it's the jim. And it's a J. So now its sister letter, there's 2 sister letters it has. This is going to be, not that. It's going to be, yep. So this is a ha. So a ha has no dot. And it looks just like a jim in the way it's written and the way it's positioned. And it just makes a ha sound. There are 2 H's, 2 ha's. There are 2 H's in the Arabic language. This is the first one. This is more of a hard H. So think of the word hard, hard. You're pronouncing that H, hard. And It's just called a ha, so it's an H, and it's just called a ha. The next sister letter is going to be a, and you're going to laugh at this because everyone has difficulty making this sound at first. It is going to be a cha, cha, cha. So cha is the same as the ha and the jim. Yeah, cha. Can you make a cha? A cha. So cha is going to be like this. It's just a dot above. So the jim is above, and then the uh-oh baby. Here you go, mama. Here, come here. So the jim has a dot below. The ha has a dot, or does not have a dot, and then the cha has a dot above. So let's go ahead and write. Did I already change it? No, it's still in English. So let's do this, and it's going to be a cha. So it's there's not even an equivalent in English. So it's kind of a funny thing to pronounce. So you got ja, ha, and cha, and then this is the sheen, and then we're gonna pick one last letter for the day, I believe. Yeah, we're coming up on it. So the next and last letter is going to be let's just pick one at random. That is not what I wanted. So it's gonna be the ta. So the ta is just like the ba and the ya in a way that it has two dots above, but when it's written out and it's connected, it's going to look a little something like that. So you got the line coming down, the next line, and then you're going to have that boat kind of thing at the end with two dots above. If you see that, immediately you know. So if you see, let's go ahead and do this real quick. So if you see something that looks like this, and it has two dots above, you immediately know, and you're going to see a lot of the letters that look like this. Let's move this up because I can see it's kind of blocked right now. If you have two dots above, you immediately know that's a ta, right? You don't now, but you will, I promise. I can't seem to grab that. What is it? Tab? There we go. So that is the ta. Let's go ahead and mark that. Back in English. And that sounds just like a regular T. Nothing special to it. There are two T's. I know this can sound really daunting at first, but it don't let it. And it just makes a regular T sound. Ta. So you got sheen, jim, ha, cha, and ta. And when you make the ha sound, you're going to make it in the back of your throat. So here, let me drink a little bit of water. But it's going to be a cha, cha, cha. So you're pressing the back of your tongue up to the little hangy downy thing, and you're just going to make a cha sound. As for the ta, just same thing. The tongue behind the teeth, ta, ta, ta. There's no pop. There's no special quality about this letter. Just a regular T. So those are our letters thus far. Let's go ahead and sort them out and write out some words for you. So we've got Aleph. Oh, hello. So we've got Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin. And then we've got Ja, Jim, Ha, Cha. And then we've got, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Am I missing one? Did I only do 4? I think I only did 4. Maybe we need to do another. So I feel like I did an extra. Oh, I did the sheen. That's right. My bad. I was wondering what that was. All right, the sheen. So let's stretch this over my head. So you've got Aleph. So from the right to the left, because that's the way that we're going to start thinking, and we're going to start spelling and writing and everything. From the right to the left, it's going to be Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin, Shin, Jim, Ha, Cha, and Ta. Now do me a favor. It's going to be corny, a little bit of Dora the Explorer style, but go ahead and go through with me, and as I point at these, we're going to try to say them together, so you're going to try to remember what they are, and it's that recall the more and more you do it, the stronger your synapses are going to become. Those synaptic bridges that hold those memories, the more you do it, it's called rote memory. So go ahead and go through with me. We're going to go through 2 times. If you don't get it the first time, that's fine. Watch this video again on YouTube. Not a big deal. It took me a month to learn the letters, I believe. So I'm kind of shoving them down your throat, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin, Shin, Jim, Ha, Cha, Ta. Now let's go ahead and go through again. Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin, Shin, Jim, Ha, Cha, Ta. Let's go over some of the words that we learned today. So we've got La, which you remember, hopefully, means no. Let's go ahead and write that. Equal to no. We've got, for example, Ab. So Ab equals father. So father, dad, however you want to say it. And then you've got Abi. So Abi is equal to my father. Next, we had Besubub, which I'm not going to put up there, but it looked like this. So I'll put it up. I'll put it up real quick, but then we're going to take it off. It's going to be Besubub. Besubub. As you can see, if I can go over here. No, I can't. So you've got the ba, sa, ba, ba. So besubub, besubub, besubub. It might sound harder than it actually is. It's not that difficult. I'm saying that even though it's not difficult for me, but it's probably difficult for you. So that means because. Let's take that off real quick. Let's look at some other words that we can make. So let's see, what do we have? So we've got shab. So shab, and that means people or young people. In addition to shab, you can say shabab, which means young people. You're going to hear that a lot, especially from older people that are talking to you. They're going to say ya shabab, ya shab. That means like, hey, young kid, hey, young people. So shab, shabab. Let's go ahead and write young people. And, oh, it fit. That's crazy. All right. And then for the last thing we're going to put, I can see I'm starting to encroach, so that's why we're going to kind of cut it a little bit. So let's see. I could do that, so we can teach that. Let me put it into Arabic. So we've got al-bait, which means the house. All right. So the house. So alif lam. This is the definite article for Arabic. It's just al. In Spanish they have el and la, so el and la. But for Arabic, it's only going to be alif lam. And then you have ba, ya, ta, which comes out al-bait. Al-bait. Excuse me. Al-bait. So, la, ab, abi, shab, shabab, al-bait. Al-bait. So there are 29 letters, I believe. There's some debate on a couple of letters because they don't really, they're not really called letters. There's some short letters, there are major letters, and then there are diacritics. There's a lot to the language. It's not just like Arabic. It's not like English where you have 26 letters. I might be wrong on that. I can't believe that. That's crazy. There's 26 letters, and that's it. With Arabic, you have short vowels, you have diacritics, you've got tanweens, and you've got regular letters. So whenever you see a lot of these, like I said, these consonants next to each other. For the time being, I'll show you how they're pronounced. Later, we'll discuss why and how from a grammatical perspective. A big thing about these classes is I'm not going to delve too much into the grammar aspect of the language. I'm going to try to couple it and balance it with a communicative approach to the language. If you have grammar questions, if you have questions that are more dialectual, please feel free to ask them in the class. Actually, we're going to start in like 3 minutes, the question and answer session, and that'll kind of dictate how long these classes go. But to be honest, I could sit here all day long and discuss the language. It's a beautiful language. So we have all these words, and I don't think we're going to do any more. These are your letters again. Let's go ahead and go through the letters one more time before we move on to the question and answer session. So Aleph, Lam, Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin, Sheen, Jim, Ha, Cha, and Ta. So let's go just one more time. And if you do this with me, it's going to get easier over time. You're going to be able to identify these letters, and we won't have to have this discussion again. All right, so you've got Aleph, Lam, Ba, Ya, Sin, Sheen, Jim, Ha, Cha, and Ta. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to erase those. That was this week, and what we're going to move on to now is going to be the, hang on one second, it's going to be the Let's Chat section of the video. This is a chance for you to ask me different things, like words you may want to say. You may have noticed the scrolling script towards the bottom of the screen. In case you're wondering what that says, it says, "A cow stole my underwear." Yes, that is what I chose for my first sentence to scroll across the screen. A cow stole my underwear. So, sarakat, it stole. Bakra, a cow. Sarwali, my sarwal, my underwear, my shorts, my trousers, my pants, depending on who you talk to. That's a dialectual difference with some people. So, sarakat, bakra, sarwali. So now, like I said, your comments and everything should pop up in the screen. If you have any questions or anything like that, this is your chance to ask them, and we can go over them. And any questions about how to pronounce things, maybe you want to go over something again because we have the opportunity to, please feel free. I'm going to go ahead and move some of this stuff because I don't like how it's situated. And if not, then I'm going to call it quits, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to give it maybe 10 more seconds. No, I'll give it another minute. So Arabic, in case you're wondering, in case you're like, this is, this language is, it's interesting, but at the same time, it's, I don't see a reason to study it. Arabic is an extremely interesting language considering anthropologic linguistics because of where it came from, what it's become, its relation to other Semitic languages, as well as other abjads, other languages in the area, its influence on other countries, on other languages. It's a absolutely fascinating language. The way that it was created seems very well constructed compared to English, which if you study English as an ESL person, I didn't myself, but from what I know talking to ESL students, English is a very difficult language to learn just because a lot of the vocabulary comes from so many different places over the past 500 to 600 years. But when you consider Arabic, it's been around for so long that it's actually been able to influence other languages. And a lot of the influences that they've gotten, they've adapted it so well into the language that it's almost seamless. Almost. I'm going to say almost. Because there are a lot of, what are they called? Words that sound like others in other languages. Cognates. So there are a lot of cognates in Arabic from other languages. but for the most part, they've been able to fuse them into Arabic almost seamlessly. So I'm not seeing any questions. It's not a big deal. This is the first video. I didn't expect this to be amazing. I'm just happy it's working, to be honest, without any technical difficulties. If you like this video, go ahead and follow me on Twitch or like this video on YouTube, whatever platform you are on, and maybe give me a comment and tell me how I can improve the stream, how I can, maybe you didn't like seeing me. I mean, and that's fine. Maybe I'm a distraction. I'm taking up too much of the board. This is something I'm experimenting with. I'm fluent in Arabic, quote unquote, because the concept of fluency is a highly debated thing. But if you have any questions or anything like that, or you want me to change something about the videos or the stream, go ahead and just leave a suggestion at the bottom of my Twitch channel, or leave a comment in my YouTube, and I'd be super excited to see that and change some stuff up for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.